What if the reason your relationships keep failing is not because love is hard, but because no one ever taught you how to love? What if heartbreak was not punishment, but preparation? What if the problem was never them, but patterns you never learned to see? Love is not just a feeling. It is not just chemistry. It is not just timing. Love is a skill. And like every skill, it must be studied. In this audiobook summary of Student of Love, you will learn how to discover yourself, uncover unhealthy patterns, and recover from past wounds. You will learn how to choose better, communicate better, heal deeper. This is not about finding the perfect person. This is about becoming the prepared person. Because healthy love is not found by chance. It is built with awareness. Stay with me. Class is about to begin. Chapter 1. Become a student of love. Love is not luck. Love is not random fate. Love is not chemistry alone. Love is a skill. And every skill can be learned. You were taught math in school. You were taught how to write. You were taught how to drive. But no one taught you love. No one taught you how to choose. No one taught you how to communicate. No one taught you how to heal. So you guessed. You copied what you saw. You repeated what felt familiar. And then you wondered why it hurt. Listen carefully. Love rewards preparation. Love exposes ignorance. You cannot master what you never study. You cannot fix what you never face. You cannot grow if you stay defensive. To become a student of love, you must first admit something simple. You do not know everything. That is not weakness. That is maturity. A student is humble. A student asks questions. A student observes patterns. A student accepts correction. You want better relationships. But wanting is not enough. You must study your habits. Study your reactions. Study your fears. When conflict appears, what do? Do you shut down? Do you attack? Do you avoid hard talks? Patterns repeat when ignored. Pain repeats when unexamined. You think love failed you. But did you understand love? You think partners were wrong. But did you understand yourself? Being a student means responsibility, not blame. Responsibility. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility sets you free. The student says, "What can I learn here?" The student says, "Where did I ignore signs?" The student says, "How can I grow stronger?" This mindset changes everything. Because love mirrors you. If you are insecure, love feels unstable. If you fear abandonment, love feels threatening. If you avoid vulnerability, love feels distant. Love is not attacking you. It is revealing you. That truth may sting, but it will also save you. You must study your attachment style. You must study your triggers. You must study your childhood models. Who taught you love? Was it calm and safe? Or loud and unpredictable? Was affection consistent? Or withdrawn as punishment? Your past writes silent rules. Rules you follow unconsciously. A student brings those rules forward. A student questions them. Just because something feels familiar does not mean it is healthy. Familiar chaos still feels familiar. Familiar neglect still feels familiar. Familiar disrespect still feels familiar. Your nervous system loves familiarity. Even when it is unhealthy. That is why studying matters. You must learn the difference between intensity and intimacy. Intensity feels exciting. Intimacy feels safe. Intensity is fast. Intimacy is steady. Intensity creates drama. Intimacy builds trust. Many people chase intensity, then call it love. A student pauses. A student observes pace. A student values consistency. Love is built slowly. Trust is built daily. Respect is built intentionally. You cannot skip the foundation. You cannot demand results without building skill. So what does studying love mean? It means learning communication, clear words, honest feelings, direct needs. It means listening fully, not waiting to reply, not preparing defense, just listening. It means regulating emotions, not exploding in anger, not withdrawing in silence. Feeling, then responding wisely. That takes practice. And practice takes patience. You will make mistakes. That is part of learning. Students fall sometimes. But students rise wiser. Do not fear mistakes. Fear repeating them blindly. Every relationship teaches something. Even the painful ones. Especially the painful ones. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" "What is this teaching me?" That shift builds power. Growth requires discomfort. There is no shortcut. There is no magic partner. There is no perfect timing. There is only awareness and effort. You must also study boundaries. Where do you overgive? Where do you over-tolerate? Where do you shrink yourself? Love without boundaries becomes resentment. Kindness without limits becomes exhaustion. A student learns balance. A student knows self-respect. You cannot beg for healthy love. You must embody healthy standards. That begins with self-leadership. When you value yourself, you choose differently. When you respect yourself, you walk away sooner. When you trust yourself, you stop chasing confusion. Being a student also means learning emotional responsibility. Your partner is not your healer. Your partner is not your parent. Your partner is not your therapist. They are your partner. You bring your healing journey. They bring theirs. Together, you build consciously. That is mature love. And mature love is learned. If you want depth, study depth. If you want loyalty, practice loyalty. If you want honesty, speak honestly. You attract what you practice, not what you wish for. So stop waiting. Start studying. Reflect. Journal your patterns. Ask hard questions. Have brave conversations. Observe red flags calmly. Observe green flags gratefully. Growth feels slow sometimes, but slow growth lasts. Remember this clearly. Love is not luck. Love is preparation meeting opportunity. When you prepare, you choose wisely. When you prepare, you respond calmly. When you prepare, you stop repeating pain. You become intentional. And intentional people love better. Before you seek the right partner, become the prepared partner. Before you demand understanding, learn how to understand. Before you chase connection, learn how to connect. This is your decision. You can stay reactive, or you can become a student. You can blame history, or you can build wisdom. One path repeats heartbreak. The other path builds mastery. Choose growth. Choose humility. Choose awareness. Because love rewards learners. And from this moment forward, you are no longer guessing. You are studying. You are growing. You are becoming wise in love. Class has begun. Chapter 2. Heal before you build. You cannot build on broken ground. You cannot plant seeds in poison. You cannot create peace while carrying hidden chaos. Unhealed wounds sabotage love. Not loudly at first, but slowly, quietly. Past trauma shapes present behavior. Even when you deny it, even when you ignore it, pain does not disappear. It hides. It waits. You say you want healthy love. But are you emotionally healthy? You say you want stability. But are you stable inside? Healing is not weakness. Healing is preparation. Many people try to build first. They chase connection quickly. They seek comfort fast. They want distraction from pain. But distraction is not healing. It is delay. And delayed pain grows louder. If you were betrayed before, you may struggle to trust. If you were abandoned before, you may cling too tightly. If you were ignored before, you may overreact to silence. These reactions feel automatic, but they are learned defenses. Your heart built walls for protection. Your mind created patterns for survival. At one time, those defenses helped you survive. But survival is not the same as love. Love requires openness. Love requires vulnerability. Love requires emotional safety. If you never heal, you will punish new people for old people's mistakes. And that is unfair, not just to them, but to you, because you deserve peace. Healing begins with honesty. Stop saying you are fine. Stop pretending you moved on. Stop minimizing your pain. You cannot fix what you hide. You cannot release what you deny. Ask yourself gently, what still hurts? What still triggers me? What memories still feel heavy? Do not rush the answers. Sit with them. Feel them. Name them. Healing requires courage. Courage to face old wounds. Courage to revisit painful seasons. Courage to admit you were affected. You may have grown stronger, but you were still impacted. Strength does not cancel scars. It simply means you survived. Now you must recover. Recovery means responsibility, not for what happened, but for how you respond now. You are not responsible for trauma, but you are responsible for healing. Unhealed trauma leaks. It leaks into tone. It leaks into reactions. It leaks into assumptions. You assume betrayal quickly. You expect abandonment early. You prepare for disappointment automatically. That mindset creates tension, and tension kills connection. Healing teaches awareness. Awareness slows reaction. Awareness creates pause. Instead of reacting instantly, you respond thoughtfully. Instead of accusing quickly, you ask calmly. Instead of shutting down suddenly, you communicate honestly. That shift changes relationships. But healing is not instant. It takes reflection. It takes patience. Sometimes it takes therapy. Sometimes it takes mentorship. Sometimes it takes solitude. Do not rush the process. Broken bones need time. So do broken hearts. Many people fear healing because healing feels lonely. It requires stillness. It requires facing truth. It requires releasing illusions. You may have romanticized pain. You may have normalized chaos. You may have confused trauma with passion. Healing separates truth from illusion. You learn what love truly feels like. Consistent, respectful, not dramatic, not unpredictable, not exhausting. If love always feels intense, ask yourself why. If peace feels boring, ask yourself why. Your nervous system may crave chaos because chaos feels familiar. Healing retrains your nervous system. It teaches your body calm. It teaches your mind trust. It teaches your heart patience. Another part of healing is forgiveness. Not always reconciliation, but forgiveness. Forgiveness releases bitterness. Bitterness poisons future love. When you carry resentment, you carry suspicion. When you carry anger, you carry defensiveness. Forgiveness does not excuse behavior. It frees your energy. It frees your peace. You also must forgive yourself for red flags you ignored, for standards you lowered, for boundaries you crossed. You were learning. Now you know better. Self-compassion accelerates healing. Shame slows it down. You cannot grow while hating yourself. Growth needs grace. Healing also means setting boundaries. Not walls. Boundaries. Walls isolate. Boundaries protect. A healed person knows the difference. You can be open without being unguarded. You can be kind without being exploited. You can love deeply without losing yourself. But only after healing. Because wounded people overgive. Wounded people overattach. Wounded people overreact. Healed people observe first. Healed people communicate calmly. Healed people walk away peacefully. Healing builds emotional discipline. Discipline keeps love steady. Imagine building a house. You would inspect the foundation first. You would repair cracks. You would strengthen weak areas. Why treat your heart differently? Why build commitment on unresolved pain? When storms come, and they will come, a weak foundation collapses. But a healed foundation stands firm. You deserve stable love. Not survival love. Not trauma-bonded love. Stable love. And stability begins within. Before you build with someone else, rebuild yourself. Before you promise forever, ensure you are whole. Before you say I love you, ask if you love yourself. Healing does not make you perfect. It makes you aware. It makes you intentional. It makes you safer to love, and safer to be loved. This chapter is not about blame. It is about empowerment. Your past shaped you, but it does not control you. You can choose healing. You can choose growth. You can choose peace. And when you choose healing, your next relationship will not pay for old pain. It will benefit from new wisdom. Do not rush to build. Repair first. Strengthen first. Heal first. Because the love you build next deserves the healed version of you. And in the next chapter, we will go deeper. We will explore identity. We will discover why knowing yourself changes who you choose. Stay with me. Your growth is just beginning. Chapter 3. Discover who you are first. Before you choose someone, choose yourself first. Before you promise forever, understand who is promising. You cannot offer clarity if you lack identity. You cannot build unity if you feel divided inside. Self-awareness is powerful. It is the foundation of love. Without it, relationships become confusing. You change depending on who you date. You shrink to be accepted. You pretend to be easy. You silence real needs. And slowly, you lose yourself. Many people enter relationships without knowing who they are. They know what they like. They know what attracts them. But they do not know themselves deeply. Identity is more than hobbies. It is more than career goals. It is more than personality tests. Identity is knowing your values. Identity is knowing your boundaries. Identity is knowing your emotional limits. When you lack identity, you borrow someone else's direction. You follow their vision blindly. You adjust your standards quickly. You accept what once felt wrong, because you fear losing connection. But losing yourself is worse. Discovering who you are requires stillness, not distraction, not constant attention. Stillness. Ask yourself honest questions. What matters deeply to me? What do I refuse to compromise? What behaviors drain my peace? What environments energize my spirit? These questions create clarity. Clarity prevents confusion later. When you know yourself, you choose differently. You stop chasing potential. You start recognizing alignment. You stop settling for chemistry. You start valuing character. Identity also protects boundaries. If you do not know your limits, you will cross them often. If you do not know your worth, you will discount it cheaply. If you do not know your needs, you will expect mind reading, and disappointment will follow. Self-awareness teaches responsibility. It teaches emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is essential. It means understanding your feelings, not being controlled by them. It means expressing needs clearly, not expecting silent understanding. It means listening without ego, not defending automatically. Many conflicts happen because people lack emotional maturity. They react instead of reflect. They accuse instead of inquire. They withdraw instead of communicate. When you discover yourself, you slow down reactions. You notice triggers. You question assumptions. You respond with intention. That shift creates safety, and safety sustains love. You must also understand your attachment style. Are you anxious in love? Do you fear abandonment quickly? Are you avoidant in closeness? Do you struggle with vulnerability? Awareness removes confusion. Instead of blaming your partner, you examine your pattern. Instead of saying, "They made me insecure," "Why did this trigger me?" That question changes growth. Discovering yourself also means knowing your life vision. Where are you headed? What kind of future do you want? What values guide your decisions? Love without shared direction creates silent tension. One wants growth. One wants comfort. One wants adventure. One wants stability. Neither is wrong, but misalignment causes friction. When you know your path, you can assess alignment honestly. You stop forcing compatibility. You stop ignoring differences. You start asking deeper questions. Does this person support my purpose? Do they respect my ambitions? Do they honor my boundaries? Clarity feels powerful. It also feels uncomfortable, because clarity removes excuses. You can no longer blame confusion. You see truth clearly, and truth demands decision. Some people avoid self-discovery because they fear change. If you truly know yourself, you may outgrow certain people. You may release old patterns. You may walk away peacefully. Growth requires courage, but stagnation costs more. You deserve alignment, not constant adjustment. Another part of identity is knowing how you love. How do you express affection? How do you receive appreciation? How do you handle stress? How do you resolve conflict? Understanding these patterns reduces misunderstanding. When you know your communication style, you can explain it clearly. When you know your stress response, you can manage it wisely. Without awareness, you expect someone to decode you. That is unfair. Clarity builds healthy expectations. It also builds confidence. When you know yourself, you stop seeking validation desperately. You appreciate affirmation, but you do not depend on it. You enjoy companionship, but you are not defined by it. That balance creates strength. Strong individuals build strong partnerships. Two incomplete people cannot create wholeness. They create dependency. Dependency feels intense, but intensity is not stability. Stability comes from self-knowledge. It comes from self-respect. It comes from self-leadership. Leadership over your emotions. Leadership over your decisions. Leadership over your standards. When you discover yourself first, you become intentional. Intentional people do not rush. They observe. They ask questions. They evaluate actions. They notice consistency. They value peace. You stop being impressed by words. You start measuring behavior. You stop being dazzled by charm. You start respecting integrity. That shift protects your heart. Discovering yourself also reveals fears. Fear of rejection. Fear of abandonment. Fear of being alone. Fear influences choices. If you fear loneliness deeply, you may tolerate disrespect. If you fear rejection intensely, you may avoid vulnerability. Awareness weakens fear. It does not remove it instantly, but it reduces its control. You learn to choose wisely, even when fear whispers. You learn to speak honestly, even when anxiety rises. That is growth. Growth builds confidence. Confidence attracts healthier partners. Not because you chase them, but because you embody stability. Remember this clearly. A relationship should complement you, not complete you. Completion begins within. When you know who you are, you stop asking someone else to define your worth. You define it yourself. You walk with clarity. You speak with calm assurance. You love with intention. This chapter is about preparation. Before commitment, before deep attachment, before shared futures. Discover yourself first. Know your values. Know your triggers. Know your dreams. Know your limits. Know your strengths. Know your weaknesses. Self-awareness is not selfish. It is responsible. Because when you understand yourself, you reduce unnecessary pain. You reduce projection. You reduce confusion. You increase stability. You increase alignment. You increase peace. And peace sustains love. In the next chapter, we will uncover hidden patterns. Patterns that repeat silently. Patterns that shape attraction. Patterns that influence choices. Stay with me, because knowing yourself is powerful. But understanding your patterns will change everything. Chapter 4. Uncover your patterns. You attract what you tolerate. You repeat what you do not repair. This truth is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Many people blame luck. They blame timing. They blame bad partners. But rarely do they study their patterns. Patterns are silent teachers. They reveal what you allow. They reveal what you ignore. They reveal what feels familiar. If every relationship feels similar, that is not coincidence. It is a cycle. And cycles continue until awareness interrupts them. You say, why does this keep happening? But a better question is, why do I keep choosing this? That question shifts power. Power returns to you. Patterns begin early. They form in childhood. They grow through experience. They strengthen through repetition. If love felt inconsistent before, you may chase inconsistency now. If attention felt scarce before, you may overwork for it now. If affection felt conditional before, you may tolerate conditions now. These patterns feel normal, not healthy. Normal. And normal can be dangerous, because you defend what feels normal, even when it hurts you. Uncovering patterns requires honesty, not surface honesty, deep honesty. Look at your dating history. What type attracts you most? Emotionally unavailable partners? Charming but inconsistent partners? Intense but unstable partners? If the pattern repeats, it is not random. It is familiar energy. Familiar pain feels comfortable. Even when it drains you, you may say, I just have bad luck. But luck does not repeat patterns. Habits do. Attachment styles also matter. If you are anxious, you may cling quickly. You may fear distance instantly. You may need constant reassurance. If you are avoidant, you may resist closeness. You may fear vulnerability. You may withdraw during conflict. If you are secure, You balance closeness and independence. Attachment shapes attraction. Anxious often attracts avoidant. Intensity replaces stability. Push and pull replaces peace. The cycle becomes addictive. But addiction is not love. It is emotional chaos. Uncovering your attachment style creates awareness. Awareness slows repetition. You begin to see red flags early. You stop romanticizing mixed signals. You stop excusing inconsistency. You stop calling confusion chemistry. Because chemistry without character creates chaos. Another pattern is tolerance. What do you tolerate repeatedly? Disrespect disguised as jokes? Broken promises explained with charm? Silence during serious conversations? If you tolerate it once, you teach them permission. If you tolerate it twice, you reinforce acceptance. If you tolerate it always, it becomes the standard. You attract what you tolerate. Standards are powerful, but only when enforced. Saying you deserve better means nothing without action. Patterns also hide in excuses. You say, they will change. You say, they had a hard past. You say, love requires patience. Yes, patience matters. But patterns reveal direction. If behavior remains unhealthy, hope becomes self-deception. Another pattern is speed. Do you move too fast? Do you attach instantly? Do you plan futures quickly? Fast attachment hides insecurity. It replaces discernment with fantasy. Healthy love grows steadily. It does not rush intimacy. It builds trust daily. If you always rush, what? Are you afraid of losing them? Are you afraid of being alone? Fear accelerates unhealthy attachment. Healing slows it down. Patterns also appear in conflict. Do you escalate quickly? Do you shut down completely? Do you avoid hard talks? Conflict reveals maturity, and repeated conflict styles reveal emotional habits. If you grew up with yelling, you may normalize shouting. If you grew up with silence, you may withdraw during tension. But what was normal before does not have to remain normal now. You can unlearn it. You can retrain your responses, but only after awareness. Subconscious habits also influence dating. Do you chase unavailable people? Do you lose interest when someone is consistent? Do you equate drama with passion? These habits operate quietly. You may not notice them, but they guide attraction. Ask yourself honestly, do healthy partners feel boring? Does stability feel unfamiliar? If so, your nervous system prefers chaos, because chaos feels known. Uncovering patterns requires journaling. Write your relationship history. Notice similarities. Notice repeated emotions. Notice repeated outcomes. Patterns reveal themselves through review. You must also accept your role. Not all fault is yours, but your participation matters. Growth begins with ownership. Ownership empowers change. Blame traps you in repetition. When you see your patterns, do not shame yourself. Shame freezes growth. Curiosity encourages healing. Ask gently, what was I seeking? Validation? Security? Excitement? Escape? Understanding your motivation clarifies your choices. You stop acting unconsciously. You start choosing intentionally. Breaking patterns feels uncomfortable because growth feels unfamiliar. You may choose someone stable and feel uncertain at first. You may say no to chaos and feel temporary loneliness. But temporary discomfort creates long-term peace. Patterns are not destiny. They are habits. And habits can change. You change them through awareness, through boundaries, through patience, through emotional discipline. Every time you interrupt a cycle, you rewrite your story. Every time you enforce standards, you strengthen self-respect. Every time you pause before reacting, you build maturity. Uncovering patterns is powerful because it restores choice. You are no longer repeating blindly. You are choosing consciously, and conscious choices create healthy love. In the next chapter, we will explore standards and preferences. We will define what is negotiable and what must never bend. Stay with me, because clarity about patterns is powerful, but clarity about standards will protect your future. Chapter 5: Standards versus Preferences. Not everything you want is something you need. Not everything you like is something you require. Preferences are negotiable. Standards are non-negotiable. Confusing the two creates unnecessary heartbreak. Many people say, "I have standards," but when tested, they reveal preferences. A preference is flexible. A standard is foundational. A preference is about comfort. A standard is about character. A preference may include height, or style, or hobbies. A standard includes respect, honesty, emotional stability, integrity. Preferences make you excited. Standards keep you safe. Preferences attract you. Standards protect you. When you ignore this difference, you sacrifice values for vibes. You prioritize charm over character. You excuse red flags because chemistry feels strong. But chemistry fades. Character remains. You must define clearly what is negotiable and what is not. This requires maturity. It requires self-awareness. And it requires courage. Because enforcing standards means walking away sometimes. And walking away is uncomfortable. Let us define standards properly. A standard reflects your values. It reflects your emotional needs. It reflects your long-term vision. For example, if honesty matters deeply to you, that is a standard. If loyalty defines safety for you, that is a standard. If consistent communication creates emotional security for you, that is a standard. Standards are rooted in identity. Preferences are rooted in taste. Taste can change. Values rarely do. Imagine building a house. Preferences choose the paint color. Standards build the foundation. You can repaint walls easily. You cannot ignore foundation cracks. Yet many people reverse this. They fight over preferences. They ignore broken standards. They argue about hobbies. They excuse disrespect. They debate fashion. They tolerate dishonesty. That imbalance creates instability. When you understand standards, you gain clarity. Clarity removes confusion. You stop asking, "Is this too much to expect?" If it aligns with your values, it is not too much. You stop lowering the bar. To avoid loneliness, you stop negotiating your peace for temporary companionship. Healthy boundaries support standards. The boundary says, "This behavior is not acceptable." The boundary says, "I respect myself enough to walk away." Boundaries are not threats. They are commitments to self-respect. Without boundaries, standards are meaningless words. Anyone can declare high standards. Few enforce them consistently. Enforcement requires discipline. It requires emotional strength. It requires patience. Because enforcing standards may delay relationships, but it prevents unhealthy ones. You must also evaluate your standards. Are they rooted in fear or rooted in wisdom? Sometimes people disguise walls as standards. For example, refusing vulnerability completely is not a healthy standard. It is avoidance. Demanding perfection is not maturity. It is insecurity. Healthy standards are realistic. They focus on character. They focus on consistency. They focus on growth, not on flawless performance. Another mistake people make is elevating preferences to the level of standards. You may prefer certain interests. You may prefer certain backgrounds. You may prefer certain lifestyles. But preferences should not override values. A person may not match your taste, but may embody integrity fully. Another may match your taste perfectly, but lack emotional depth, which matters more long-term. Attraction is important, but attraction without alignment creates temporary connection. Alignment sustains commitment. When you know your standards clearly, you date differently. You observe behavior carefully. You listen for consistency. You evaluate patterns, not promises. You ask deeper questions. How do they handle conflict? How do they treat others? How do they respond to accountability? These reveal character. Character predicts future behavior. Charm predicts temporary excitement. You must decide which you value. Standards also require self-reflection. Are you meeting the standards you expect from others? If you demand emotional maturity, are you emotionally mature? If you require honesty, are you transparent? If you expect loyalty, are you consistent? Standards must be mutual. They are not weapons. They are shared commitments. When two people respect standards, trust grows naturally. Security increases steadily. Love deepens safely. Distinguishing standards from preferences also reduces unnecessary conflict. You stop forcing change. In superficial areas, you focus on meaningful growth. You stop controlling minor habits. You address major issues. This creates balance. Balance strengthens connection. Another benefit of clear standards is reduced anxiety. You no longer second-guess yourself. You no longer overanalyze behavior. If someone violates a standard, the decision becomes clear. Not easy, but clear. Clarity brings peace. Peace attracts healthier relationships, because confident people do not tolerate confusion. They do not chase inconsistency. They do not negotiate respect. They value stability. They value integrity. They value alignment. You deserve alignment, not constant compromise of identity, not emotional bargaining, not conditional acceptance. Defining standards requires writing them down. Be specific. Be honest. Be realistic. Separate preferences clearly. For example, preference, shared hobbies. Standard, mutual respect. Preference, similar music taste. Standard, emotional accountability. Preference, certain lifestyle interests. Standard, commitment to growth. When you see the difference visually, clarity increases. Then practice enforcement gently. If behavior crosses a standard, communicate calmly. If patterns continue, choose wisely. Standards without action invite repeated disrespect. Remember this truth. You teach people how to treat you through what you allow, through what you ignore, through what you accept silently. When your standards are clear, your decisions become easier. And when your decisions align with your values, self-respect grows stronger. Stronger self-respect attracts healthier partners. Not because you demand loudly, but because you embody confidence. Standards create structure. Preferences create style. Both matter, but never confuse their roles. Protect your foundation first. Decorate later. In the next chapter, we will explore communication deeply, because even strong standards mean little without clear expression. Stay with me, because knowing your standards protects your heart, but learning how to communicate them will protect your future. Chapter 6. Communication is a discipline. Love fails without communication. Silence breeds assumptions, and assumptions create distance. Distance weakens connection. Many relationships do not collapse from hate. They collapse from misunderstanding. Two people care deeply, yet they feel unheard. They feel unseen. They feel misunderstood. But because communication was never mastered. Communication is not talent. It is discipline. Discipline means practice. Discipline means intention. Discipline means consistency. You cannot speak carelessly and expect harmony. You cannot avoid hard talks and expect intimacy. Healthy love requires dialogue, not surface talk, not polite avoidance. Real dialogue, honest words, calm tone, clear expression. Many people talk often, but they rarely communicate. Talking shares information. Communication shares understanding. There is a difference. Understanding requires listening, not waiting to reply, not preparing defense, just listening fully. Most arguments escalate quickly because people listen to react. They do not listen to learn. Emotional intelligence changes this. Emotional intelligence means awareness. Awareness of your feelings. Awareness of their feelings. Awareness of timing. When emotions rise, discipline matters most. You may feel anger. You may feel hurt. You may feel frustration. Feeling is natural. Exploding is optional. Discipline creates pause. Pause creates clarity. Clarity prevents damage. Words spoken in anger leave lasting scars. Silence used as punishment creates deep insecurity. Healthy communication avoids both extremes. Not aggression, not withdrawal. Balance. If something hurts you, say it clearly, not sarcastically, not indirectly, clearly. For example, instead of saying, "You never care about me," "I felt ignored earlier, and that hurt me." See the difference? One attacks character. The other expresses emotion. Attacks create defense. Expression invites understanding. Communication also requires vulnerability. Vulnerability feels risky. It feels exposed. It feels uncertain. But vulnerability builds intimacy. When you hide feelings, resentment grows quietly. When resentment grows, distance follows. Distance invites disconnection. Vulnerability interrupts that cycle. This is how I feel. This matters to me. I trust you with honesty. Trust deepens through vulnerability. But vulnerability must be balanced. Not oversharing instantly. Not emotional dumping. Intentional sharing. At the right time. With the right tone. Another part of communication is timing. Not every moment is the right moment. Do not start serious conflict during exhaustion. Do not raise deep concerns. In public settings, wisdom chooses timing carefully. Timing affects tone. Tone affects outcome. Conflict resolution is essential. Conflict is not failure. Avoiding conflict is failure. Two different individuals will disagree sometimes. That is natural. What matters is how you resolve it. Do you insult? Do you bring old issues? Do you exaggerate with words like please and never? These habits destroy progress. Healthy conflict focuses on present issues. It avoids character attacks. It avoids humiliation. It avoids scorekeeping. Scorekeeping poisons love. You are not enemies. You are partners. Partners solve problems together, not against each other. Use phrases like, "How can we fix this? What can we improve here? How do you see it?" Questions invite cooperation. Accusations invite resistance. Silence also damages communication. Some people withdraw during tension. They avoid eye contact. They delay conversations endlessly. They hope issues disappear. They rarely do. Silence breeds assumptions. Assumptions breed insecurity. Insecurity breeds overthinking. Overthinking breeds conflict. One conversation could prevent all that. Communication also requires consistency. Do not communicate well only when calm. Practice discipline daily. Small check-ins matter. Simple affirmations matter. Saying, "I appreciate you," strengthens connection. Saying, "I was wrong," builds trust. Apologizing sincerely restores safety. Apologies must be genuine, not defensive, not conditional, not sarcastic. "I understand how that hurt you. I will improve." That builds security. Communication also includes nonverbal signals. Body language matters. Facial expressions matter. Tone matters deeply. You may say kind words, but harsh tone cancels them. You may say sorry, but crossed arms signal resistance. Alignment between words and tone creates authenticity. Another discipline is clarity. Do not expect mind reading. If you need reassurance, ask respectfully. If you need space, express it calmly. Unspoken expectations create silent frustration. Clear expectations create alignment. Healthy communication also means boundaries. You can say, "I will not accept disrespect." You can say, "Let us pause this conversation." Boundaries maintain respect. Respect sustains love. Without respect, communication turns toxic. Toxic communication includes mockery, public embarrassment, constant criticism, emotional manipulation. These behaviors erode safety. Safety is the foundation of intimacy. Without safety, love becomes anxiety. With safety, love becomes stability. Communication requires humility. You will not always be right. Admitting mistakes strengthens connection. Defending ego weakens it. Humility softens conflict. Pride intensifies it. Discipline means choosing humility, even when ego resists. This is growth. This is maturity. This is love in action. Remember this clearly. Strong feelings require strong discipline. The deeper you care, the more careful your words must be. Communication is not about winning. It is about understanding. It is not about dominance. It is about partnership. When two people commit to disciplined communication, misunderstandings decrease. Trust increases. Security deepens. And love strengthens steadily. In the next chapter, we will explore accountability, because communication means little without personal responsibility. Stay with me, because learning to speak well is powerful, but learning to own your actions will transform your relationships. Chapter 7. Accountability in relationships. Blame feels easy. Ownership feels hard, but blame destroys growth, and ownership builds trust. In every relationship, there comes a moment of tension, a disagreement, a misunderstanding, a painful mistake. And in that moment, you choose who you are. Do you protect your ego? Or do you protect the relationship? Accountability is not weakness. It is strength under control. It is maturity in action. It is emotional leadership. Many relationships fail, not because love disappears, but because responsibility does. When something goes wrong, the human instinct is defense. You explain quickly. You justify loudly. You redirect the blame. You say, "But you did this first." You say, "You always overreact." You say, "This is not my fault." And in that moment, growth stops. Blame feels protective, but it slowly poisons trust. Every time you avoid ownership, you weaken emotional safety. And without safety, love becomes fragile. Accountability changes everything. Accountability says, "I see my part, even if it is small, even if it hurts my pride, even if I feel misunderstood." You can acknowledge your role without accepting false guilt. There is a difference. Mature accountability is balanced. It does not mean you take blame for everything. It means you examine yourself honestly. Ask yourself this: did my tone escalate the conflict? Did my silence increase confusion? Did my reaction create distance? These questions require courage, because looking inward is uncomfortable. But growth always is. Emotional regulation is connected here. When emotions rise, accountability becomes difficult. Anger demands defense. Hurt demands retaliation. Fear demands protection. But maturity demands pause. Pause before responding. Pause before accusing. Pause before escalating. That pause is power. In that pause, you choose your character. Emotional regulation does not mean you suppress feelings. It means you manage them wisely. It means you feel deeply, but respond carefully. Strong emotions are not the enemy. Uncontrolled reactions are. In disagreements, watch your language closely. Avoid absolute words like always and never. Avoid character attacks. Focus on behavior. That action hurt me, but you are selfish. See the difference? One invites reflection. The other invites defense. Accountability also includes apology. Real apology. Not half apology. Not conditional apology. Not sarcastic apology. A real apology sounds like this: I was wrong. I see how that hurt you. I will work to improve. No excuses. No blame shifting. Just ownership. When someone feels heard, their heart softens. When someone feels understood, conflict loses intensity. Ownership builds trust quickly, because it signals safety. It signals maturity. It signals emotional security. And emotional security is attractive. Very attractive. Immature love argues to win. Mature love resolves to grow. Ask yourself honestly, in conflict, are you trying to win? Or are you trying to understand? Winning arguments can cost connection. Understanding strengthens it. Another key part of accountability is consistency. Do not apologize repeatedly for the same behavior. Change must follow words. Otherwise, apologies lose meaning. Consistency builds credibility. Credibility builds trust. Trust builds stability. Stability builds long-term love. Accountability also means managing your triggers. We all have them. Old wounds, old fears, old insecurities. Sometimes your reaction is bigger than the situation, but because the trigger is older, more painful, more personal. Maturity means recognizing this. It means saying, this reaction feels intense, Maybe something deeper is involved. Instead of attacking your partner, examine your trigger, heal your trigger, own your reaction. That is powerful growth. Blame focuses outward. Ownership focuses inward. Blame says, "You made me angry." Ownership says, "I felt angry, and I need to handle that well." Notice the shift. One removes power. The other takes it back. You are responsible for your emotional responses, not for someone else's behavior, but for your reaction. This is maturity. This is discipline. This is strength. Healthy relationships require two adults, not two children arguing loudly. If both partners blame constantly, resentment grows fast. If one partner always blames, imbalance forms quickly. Healthy love needs two people, willing to self-reflect, willing to adjust, willing to grow. Accountability is not about perfection. You will make mistakes. You will say wrong things. You will react poorly sometimes. Growth is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about correcting them quickly. Repair is powerful. After conflict, initiate repair. Can we talk calmly now? I value us more than this argument. Let us reset. These small actions rebuild connection. Remember this deeply. Ego protects image. Accountability protects love. Choose wisely. You cannot demand maturity while refusing to practice it. You cannot expect grace while offering none. Lead by example. Show responsibility first. When one person models ownership, it often softens the other. Not always, but often. And even if it does not, you still grow. Accountability strengthens self-respect. Because you know, you are acting with integrity. Integrity brings peace. Peace brings clarity. Clarity strengthens decisions. When disagreements happen, slow the pace. Lower the volume. Control the tone. Speak intentionally. Listen actively. Respond thoughtfully. And if you are wrong, say it clearly, without delay, without drama. This is emotional leadership. This is relationship maturity. This is powerful love. In the next chapter, we will explore trust, because ownership builds trust. And without trust, no relationship survives. If this chapter challenged you, growth should challenge you. Stay with me, because what we uncover next will change how you see every connection in your life. Chapter 8, Red Flags and Green Flags. Discernment protects your heart. Chemistry is not character. Attraction feels powerful. Chemistry feels magnetic. It feels exciting. It feels intense. It feels rare. But intensity is not integrity. Butterflies are not proof of safety. Spark is not proof of stability. Many people confuse excitement with alignment. They confuse attention with intention. They confuse charm with character. And that confusion costs years. Red flags are not dramatic signs. Sometimes they are subtle, quiet, easy to ignore. But they always matter. A red flag is a warning, not a challenge to fix someone, not a test of your patience. A warning. If someone lies early, believe the pattern. If someone avoids accountability, notice the pattern. If someone disrespects others casually, observe carefully. Character shows in small moments. How they treat waiters. How they speak about ex-partners. How they respond to disagreement. These details reveal depth. Chemistry can blind discernment. When attraction is strong, logic becomes quiet. You excuse behavior. You justify inconsistency. You minimize discomfort. You say, "Nobody is perfect." That is true. Nobody is perfect. But healthy people are consistent. Healthy people are respectful. Healthy people are accountable. Red flags often appear as patterns, not single mistakes. Patterns of dishonesty. Patterns of emotional unavailability. Patterns of manipulation. Manipulation can look charming. It can sound romantic, but it creates imbalance. If someone love bombs quickly, slow down intentionally. If promises feel exaggerated, observe patiently. Real connection grows steadily, not explosively. Discernment requires emotional control. When you feel intense attraction, pause and evaluate. Ask yourself honestly, do their actions match their words? Do they respect my boundaries? Do they handle conflict maturely? These questions protect you. Red flags also include inconsistency. Hot one day, cold the next. Deep connection today, distance tomorrow. Inconsistency creates anxiety. And anxiety is not romance. It is instability. Healthy love feels secure. It feels steady. It feels calm. Green flags are powerful signals. They are often quieter, less dramatic, but more valuable. A green flag is emotional regulation. When conflict arises, they stay calm. They listen fully. They respond respectfully. Another green flag is accountability. They admit mistakes quickly. They do not shift blame. They seek growth. Consistency is a strong green flag. Their words align with actions. Their effort remains stable. Their interest feels clear. Clarity is attractive. Confusion is not mysterious. It is avoidance. Another green flag is boundaries. They respect your limits. They communicate their own clearly. Boundaries create safety. Safety builds trust. Trust builds longevity. Notice how they speak about others. Do they gossip constantly? Do they blame every ex? If everyone is the villain, be cautious. Self-awareness is attractive. Victim mindset is draining. Green flags include emotional availability. They can express feelings openly. They can discuss fears honestly. They do not avoid serious conversations. They lean into growth. Discernment is not judgmental. It is protective. It protects your time. It protects your energy. It protects your heart. Some people ignore red flags because they fear being alone. Loneliness can distort standards. Desperation lowers boundaries. But remember this clearly. It is better to wait wisely than attach unwisely. A relationship built on warning signs will require constant survival mode. A relationship built on green flags will allow you to thrive. Do not fall in love with potential alone. Potential is not present behavior. Do not date projects. Date patterns. Patterns reveal truth. Also examine yourself. Are you ignoring red flags? Are you attracted to chaos? Sometimes the issue is familiarity. Chaos feels normal. Drama feels exciting. Calm feels boring. But calm is healthy. If peace feels unfamiliar, that signals inner work needed. Green flags may feel slow. They may feel steady. They may feel predictable. That is stability. Stability supports growth. Another red flag is control. If someone isolates you slowly, pay attention. If jealousy feels extreme, address it early. Possessiveness is not passion. It is insecurity unmanaged. Healthy partners encourage independence. They celebrate your growth. They do not compete with it. Discernment also requires patience. Time reveals truth. Do not rush commitment. Observe consistency over months. Pressure is also a red flag. If someone rushes intimacy quickly, question the motive. Healthy connection unfolds naturally. There is no urgency. In secure love, listen to your intuition. If something feels off repeatedly, do not silence that voice. Intuition is informed by experience. It recognizes patterns quickly. But balance intuition with logic. Fear can mimic intuition sometimes. That is why self-awareness matters. When you know yourself deeply, discernment becomes clearer. Remember this always. Chemistry may start a relationship, but character sustains it. Charm may attract attention, but consistency builds trust. Excitement may feel unforgettable, but stability builds a future. Choose wisely, because who you choose shapes your emotional environment, and your emotional environment shapes your life. In the next chapter, we will explore commitment, because once you recognize the right signs clearly, you must understand what healthy commitment truly requires. Stay with me. Your discernment is sharpening, and what comes next will teach you how to build something that lasts. Chapter 9. Singleness as Preparation. Single is not incomplete. Single is in training. Read that again. Single is not lacking. Single is not behind. Single is not unwanted. Single is becoming. Many people treat singleness like a problem, like a waiting room, like a delay in life. They say, I will be happy when I find someone. They say, I will feel complete when I marry. But that belief is dangerous, because it makes love a rescue. And love is not a rescue mission. It is a partnership. Singleness is not punishment. It is preparation. Preparation for emotional strength. Preparation for clarity. Preparation for maturity. If you cannot enjoy your own company, you will fear being alone in love. If you cannot manage your emotions now, marriage will not fix that. If you lack identity alone, you will lose yourself in partnership. Singleness reveals you, your habits, your triggers, your insecurities, your strengths. This season is powerful, but only if you use it wisely. Many waste singleness chasing validation. They jump from connection to connection. They avoid solitude. They avoid silence, because silence exposes truth. Who are you without attention? Who are you without romance? Who are you without constant messages? These questions matter, because a strong relationship requires a strong individual. Singleness is training ground. It builds emotional discipline. It builds independence. It builds self-respect. When you are single, you control your growth pace. You choose your routines. You define your standards. You heal your wounds without distraction. This is powerful freedom. Do not waste it. Use this time to study yourself. What do you value deeply? What are your non-negotiables? What are your weak patterns? What attracts you repeatedly? If you do not answer these now, you will repeat mistakes later. Singleness is also financial preparation. Learn stability. Build discipline. Develop responsibility. Love thrives in stability. Chaos stresses relationships. Use this season wisely. Emotionally healthy people are attractive long-term, not just physically. Emotionally, work on your communication skills. Practice calm responses. Build healthy friendships. Friendships reveal relational habits. If you cannot maintain friendships well, romance will feel overwhelming. Singleness teaches patience. You learn to wait wisely, not desperately. Desperation lowers standards. Preparation strengthens standards. There is a difference. When you see yourself as incomplete, you accept less than you deserve. When you see yourself as developing, you protect your value. Your mindset shapes your choices. Stop saying, I am still single. Start saying, I am still building. Language changes perspective. Perspective changes behavior. Singleness also strengthens faith in timing. Not passive waiting. Active growth. You are not stuck. You are being shaped. Think about this. Would you trust a surgeon who skipped training? Would you trust a pilot who avoided preparation? Because preparation saves lives. In relationships, preparation saves hearts. You are learning emotional leadership. You are building self-awareness. You are refining boundaries. This is not delay. This is development. Singleness allows you to face loneliness honestly. Loneliness teaches resilience. It teaches emotional independence. It teaches self-soothing skills. If you rely on someone else to regulate your emotions always, you create pressure in love. Pressure breaks connection. Strength supports it. Use this season to heal fully. Unhealed wounds seek validation. Healed hearts seek alignment. There is a difference. Healing requires reflection. Reflection requires silence. Silence requires courage. Courage builds confidence. Confidence attracts healthy partners. Another powerful truth. Singleness reveals your relationship with yourself. Do you criticize yourself constantly? Do you neglect your needs? Do you disrespect your boundaries? If you treat yourself poorly, you will tolerate poor treatment. Self-respect sets the standard. This season is also about purpose. Develop skills. Pursue goals. Strengthen discipline. A fulfilled individual does not seek completion. They seek companionship. That difference changes everything. When you are fulfilled alone, you choose from strength, not fear, not pressure, not insecurity. You choose wisely. Singleness is also spiritual growth. It teaches dependence on values. It strengthens inner foundation. It clarifies vision. Clarity prevents confusion later. Many rush into relationships because they fear missing out. But rushing often creates regret. Patience protects your future. Time reveals character. Time builds wisdom. You are not racing anyone. Comparison steals peace. Focus on preparation. Focus on growth. Focus on becoming. Imagine entering a relationship, already emotionally stable, already self-aware, already disciplined, already healed deeply. That changes everything. You will not cling. You will not panic. You will not lose identity. You will add value. That is powerful. Remember this clearly. Single does not mean unwanted. It means unfinished growth. And growth is beautiful. You are not behind schedule. You are on your journey. Use it intentionally, because the quality of your future love depends on the quality of your present preparation. Do not rush the process. Embrace the training. Build your strength. Refine your character. Sharpen your discernment. Deepen your purpose. And when the right person appears, you will not need to become ready. You will already be ready. In the next chapter, we will explore emotional intimacy, because preparation leads somewhere powerful. And what you build within yourself now will determine how deeply you can connect later. Stay with me. Your season is not empty. It is shaping you for something greater. Chapter 10. Recovering from heartbreak. Breakups can break you, or they can build you. The pain is real. The silence feels loud. The memories feel endless. Heartbreak shakes your identity. It questions your worth. It challenges your confidence. It steals your peace. And sometimes, it steals your hope. Rejection hurts deeply. Betrayal cuts even deeper. Divorce feels like loss. Disappointment feels personal. You replay conversations repeatedly. You analyze every detail. You wonder what changed. You wonder what you missed. You wonder if you were enough. Pause right there. Heartbreak does not define your value. It reveals your humanity. Loving deeply always carries risk. But risk does not mean regret. Pain is not proof of failure. It is proof that you cared. And caring is courage. Many people try to escape heartbreak quickly. They distract themselves. They rebound immediately. They pretend strength. But unprocessed pain returns later. Healing requires honesty. Honesty about what hurt. Honesty about what ended. Honesty about what you ignored. You cannot heal what you deny. You cannot grow from what you avoid. Allow yourself to grieve. Grief is not weakness. It is emotional release. You lost a future. You lost a dream. You lost shared plans. That loss deserves acknowledgement. Do not rush recovery. Do not shame your sadness. Tears are not embarrassment. They are cleansing. But healing is not staying broken. It is moving forward intentionally. There is a difference. Heartbreak tempts bitterness. To whispers, never trust again. To whispers, love is dangerous. To whispers, close your heart. Do not listen blindly. Protection is wise. Isolation is not. Learn from pain. Do not become pain. Ask yourself strong questions. What did this relationship teach me? What patterns did I ignore? Where did I lose myself? Where did I overextend? Reflection turns pain into wisdom. Blame keeps you stuck. Someone may have hurt you. Betrayal may have happened. Disappointment may feel unfair. But your growth still matters. Focus on your healing. Not their apology. Not their regret. Not their return. Closure is not always mutual. Sometimes closure is personal decision. You decide to release. You decide to forgive. You decide to move forward. Forgiveness is not approval. It is emotional freedom. Carrying anger feels powerful briefly, but it drains slowly. Release is strength. Heartbreak also exposes attachment. Were you attached to love or attached to validation? Were you connected deeply or afraid of being alone? These questions reveal truth. Rejection often attacks self-worth. You begin comparing yourself. You question your appearance. You question your personality. Stop that cycle. One person's choice does not measure your value. Compatibility is not worth. Timing is not worth. Emotional maturity is not equal. Sometimes the ending protects you, even when it hurts. Divorce carries unique pain. It involves shared history, shared family, shared identity. Healing there requires patience. Do not rush into new commitments. Stabilize yourself first. Rebuild routines. Rebuild confidence. Rebuild independence. Betrayal creates trust wounds. Trust wounds require careful repair. You may feel suspicious easily. You may fear vulnerability. That is natural. But do not let one betrayal rewrite your entire future. Seek healing support if needed. Counseling is strength. Reflection is strength. Time is strength. Heartbreak also reveals resilience. You are still breathing. You are still standing. You are still capable of love. Pain did not destroy you. It changed you. Now choose how it shapes you. Will you become guarded forever, or wiser and stronger? Healing includes boundaries. If someone disrespected you repeatedly, learn to enforce limits. If you tolerated red flags, raise your standards now. Pain becomes powerful teacher. When you listen carefully, do not romanticize the past. Memory edits reality. It highlights good moments. It minimizes bad ones. Be honest about both. Heartbreak can distort perspective. It can make loneliness feel unbearable. But loneliness is temporary. Growth is permanent. Use this season intentionally. Reconnect with friends. Strengthen your purpose. Improve your habits. Refocus your energy. Channel pain into progress. Work out consistently. Develop new skills. Strengthen spiritual life. Strengthen mental discipline. Transformation often begins in heartbreak. Many strong people were shaped by loss, not destroyed by it, shaped by it. One powerful shift changes everything. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" "What is this teaching me?" That question empowers you. Victim mindset weakens growth. Ownership strengthens it. Even if you were hurt unfairly, you still control your recovery. Do not stalk their life online. Do not reopen wounds repeatedly. Distance helps clarity. Clarity helps healing. If reconciliation is possible, it must involve growth from both sides. Without growth, history repeats painfully. But sometimes separation is final. Accepting that truth frees your heart slowly. You are not starting over. You are starting wiser. You are starting stronger. You are starting clearer. Love did not fail you. One relationship ended. That is different. Do not label yourself broken. Broken things stay shattered. You are healing. Healing is active. Healing is intentional. Healing is powerful. Give yourself grace. Progress will not be linear. Some days feel strong. Some days feel heavy. Both are normal. Keep moving forward anyway. Keep choosing growth anyway. Keep believing in healthy love anyway. Because the goal is not to avoid pain forever. The goal is to love wisely, to choose carefully, to build slowly, to protect your peace, and to remain open without being careless. Heartbreak can refine you. It can sharpen discernment. It can deepen empathy. It can strengthen boundaries. It can clarify standards. If you let it. In the next chapter, we will explore rebuilding trust. Because after heartbreak, trust feels fragile. And learning to trust again, without losing wisdom, is one of the most powerful skills you will ever develop. Stay with me. Your story is not over. This chapter hurt, but the next one will show you how to rise. Chapter 11. Emotional maturity over attraction. Attraction starts relationships. Character sustains them. Attraction is instant. Maturity is developed. Attraction feels exciting. Maturity feels steady. Attraction pulls you in. Maturity keeps you safe. Many relationships begin with chemistry. Eye contact lingers. Conversations flow easily. Energy feels magnetic. It feels rare. It feels powerful. But attraction alone cannot carry commitment. It cannot carry conflict. It cannot carry disappointment. It cannot carry real-life pressure. Only maturity can do that. Attraction says, "I like how you make me feel." Maturity says, "I care how I treat you daily." There is a difference. Attraction is emotional spark. Maturity is emotional stability. Spark fades without substance. Stability grows with intention. Emotional maturity means regulation. It means you feel deeply, but respond wisely. It means you do not explode easily. It means you do not withdraw silently. It means you communicate calmly. Immature attraction often ignores warning signs. It focuses on excitement. It ignores consistency. It dismisses accountability. But maturity observes patterns carefully. It watches actions closely. It listens to tone. It studies character. Because character predicts future behavior. Not charm. Not style. Not charisma. Emotional maturity also means patience. You do not rush commitment blindly. You do not force intensity quickly. You allow connection to grow naturally. Pressure creates illusion. Time reveals truth. An emotionally mature person does not seek validation constantly. They are secure within. They are grounded in identity. They are stable in purpose. That stability is attractive long-term. Very attractive. Attraction often focuses on appearance. Maturity focuses on alignment. Do your values match? Do your goals align? Do your lifestyles support each other? These questions matter deeply. Physical beauty changes with time. Character deepens with time. Choose what ages well. Emotional maturity also requires accountability. When wrong, you admit it quickly. When hurt, you express it clearly. When triggered, you pause intentionally. Immaturity blames others. Maturity reflects inward. Immaturity reacts instantly. Maturity responds thoughtfully. See the contrast clearly. Spiritual growth strengthens maturity. It builds inner discipline. It builds humility. It builds compassion. A spiritually grounded person does not act from ego alone. They act from values. Values anchor behavior. Without values, emotions control direction. Emotions change quickly. Values remain steady. Relational readiness also matters. You may feel attracted strongly, but are you ready emotionally? Can you handle conflict calmly? Can you sacrifice selfish impulses? Can you support someone consistently? Love requires responsibility, not just romance. Responsibility includes time management, energy management, financial discipline, emotional availability. If you avoid growth areas now, marriage will magnify them later. Maturity prepares you for pressure, because pressure will come. Career stress, family challenges, health concerns. Life is not always smooth. Attraction cannot solve hardship. Character can. Emotionally mature partners create emotional safety. Safety allows vulnerability. Vulnerability deepens intimacy. Intimacy strengthens connection. It all connects. Immature attraction often confuses intensity with love. Fast bonding, rapid attachment, constant messaging. That feels romantic. But sustainability matters more. Can this connection survive disagreement? Can it survive boredom? Can it survive stress? These questions test maturity. Another sign of emotional maturity is boundary respect. They do not push limits. They do not manipulate emotions. They do not guilt you into compliance. They honor your space. They value your individuality. Attraction without respect becomes control. Respect without attraction becomes friendship. Healthy love needs both. But maturity must lead. You must also examine yourself honestly. Are you choosing based on loneliness? Are you ignoring red flags? Are you chasing excitement repeatedly? Patterns reveal readiness. If chaos feels familiar, calm may feel uncomfortable. But calm is healthy. Drama is addictive. Peace is sustainable. Maturity chooses peace. Emotional maturity also includes empathy. You consider their feelings. You consider their stress. You consider their perspective. You do not center yourself constantly. Self-centered attraction fades quickly. Mutual consideration builds loyalty. Relational readiness requires healing. Unhealed wounds distort perception. Past betrayal creates suspicion. Past rejection creates insecurity. Heal before committing deeply. Otherwise, old pain enters new love. That is unfair to both. Maturity also accepts imperfection. Not toxic behavior, but human flaws. No partner will meet every desire, but mature love prioritizes core values, not superficial preferences. Emotional stability feels calm. It feels reassuring. It feels grounded. It does not create constant anxiety. If someone creates emotional chaos daily, that is not passion. That is instability. Ask yourself clearly, does this person bring peace? Do they inspire growth? Do they challenge me respectfully? Do they live with integrity? If yes, maturity may be present. Attraction will fluctuate naturally. Stress affects mood. Time changes dynamics. But character remains visible. Character shows in hardship. Character shows in disappointment. Character shows in correction. That is what sustains marriage. Not constant butterflies. Butterflies settle eventually. What remains is discipline. What remains is commitment. What remains is maturity. Develop emotional discipline daily. Practice patience intentionally. Strengthen your spiritual foundation. Refine your communication skills. Raise your accountability standard. These investments prepare you, because the right partner will not only look attractive, they will act stable. They will respond maturely. They will lead responsibly. And you must match that level. Healthy relationships require two mature adults. Not one caretaker. Not one fixer. Two responsible individuals. If you prioritize attraction only, you may win excitement, but lose peace. If you prioritize maturity first, you may build stability and enjoy attraction within safety. Choose wisely, because who you choose will shape your emotional environment, and your emotional environment shapes your future deeply. In the next chapter, we will explore long-term commitment, because maturity prepares you, but commitment tests you. Stay with me. You are not just learning about love. You are preparing to sustain it. Chapter 12. Building Healthy Love. Healthy love feels safe. Healthy love feels steady. Safety is the foundation. Without it, passion becomes danger. Steadiness creates trust. Without it, intimacy cannot grow. Many people confuse excitement with love. They chase fireworks constantly. They ignore calmness. They mistake drama for intensity. True love does not require chaos. It requires clarity. It requires boundaries. It requires respect. Healthy love begins with emotional safety. You must feel secure. You must know your partner will not harm you, emotionally or physically. Safety allows vulnerability. Vulnerability allows connection. Connection allows intimacy. Without safety, intimacy collapses. You cannot open fully. You cannot share your fears. You cannot admit mistakes. Without safety, trust erodes. Without trust, relationships crumble. Steadiness is also essential. Steadiness means consistency. It means reliability. It means showing up even when it is difficult. It means honoring promises. It means managing anger respectfully. It means maintaining calm during disagreements. Steadiness is demonstrated in small actions daily, not just grand gestures occasionally. Daily consistency signals care. It signals maturity. It signals commitment. Healthy love also requires mutual respect. You respect their boundaries. They respect yours. You honor differences. They honor yours. Disagreements do not become attacks. Conflicts become conversations. Mutual respect prevents control. It prevents manipulation. It prevents silent resentment. Healthy love is balanced. Balance means giving and receiving equally. Balance means listening and speaking. Balance means compromise without losing core values. Balance means supporting growth individually and together. Love that is unbalanced becomes draining. One partner gives too much. The other receives without effort. Resentment grows. Burnout follows. Healthy love requires communication discipline. You speak honestly. They speak honestly. You listen actively. They listen actively. You do not avoid tough conversations. They do not either. Avoidance leads to accumulation of problems. Problems explode eventually. Address issues promptly and respectfully. Healthy love supports growth. It does not limit potential. It does not demand conformity. It encourages personal development. It encourages curiosity. It encourages learning. It encourages exploration. Both partners thrive. Healthy love is also forgiving. Mistakes happen. Imperfections exist. Forgiveness allows healing. Forgiveness does not mean tolerating abuse. It means understanding human imperfection. It means offering grace when appropriate. Healthy love involves boundaries. Boundaries protect safety. Boundaries protect individuality. Boundaries prevent exploitation. Boundaries allow freedom. Boundaries maintain respect. Without boundaries, love becomes codependent. Codependency destroys identity. Codependency erodes self-worth. Healthy love values identity. Both partners retain their sense of self. Healthy love also requires shared vision. You agree on major life goals. You align on family values. You align on finances. You align on lifestyle priorities. Differences exist, but shared direction strengthens the bond. Shared vision prevents long-term conflict. Healthy love grows gradually. It does not rush. It develops through small acts of trust. It develops through consistency in behavior. It develops through emotional availability. Small acts compound over time. They create a solid foundation. Healthy love is intentional. It does not happen by accident. Partners actively choose care. They actively nurture connection. They actively respect boundaries. They actively communicate. They actively forgive. They actively support growth. Love is a practice, not just a feeling. Feelings fluctuate. Practice sustains love. Emotional maturity underpins healthy love. It guides behavior. It manages impulses. It prioritizes long-term well-being. It manages conflict productively. It reinforces security. It fosters trust. Healthy love also celebrates joy. It is not all seriousness. It shares laughter. It shares playfulness. It shares experiences together. Joy strengthens emotional bonds. It deepens intimacy. It creates memories. Healthy love is resilient. It survives challenges. It survives stress. It survives miscommunication. It survives external pressures. Resilience comes from trust, consistency, and shared values. Resilience allows repair after mistakes. Resilience prevents relationships from breaking at the first obstacle. Both partners commit to resilience. They repair intentionally. They forgive when appropriate. They learn from setbacks. They grow together. Healthy love is also reciprocal. Effort is mutual. Care is mutual. Growth is mutual. You cannot sustain love alone. They cannot either. Mutuality ensures balance. Healthy love encourages independence. Each partner maintains autonomy. Autonomy strengthens respect. Autonomy strengthens trust. Autonomy prevents suffocation. Love thrives in freedom. Healthy love also requires adaptability. Life changes. Circumstances evolve. Partners must adjust together. They must navigate challenges with flexibility. Rigid expectations destroy harmony. Adaptability sustains connection. Healthy love rewards patience. It develops slowly. It deepens over time. It requires endurance. It requires effort. It requires conscious attention. It is not passive. It is active. It is deliberate. Healthy love is rewarding. It nourishes the soul. It provides support in struggle. It provides joy in ordinary moments. It creates safety to explore and grow. It builds a sense of belonging. It enhances self-worth. It encourages purpose. You must invest time. You must invest energy. You must invest emotion. You must invest patience. You must invest understanding. The return is profound. Emotional fulfillment. Deep connection. Consistent trust. Mutual growth. Healthy love is sustainable. It does not burn out quickly. It does not fade with challenges. It does not depend solely on attraction. It depends on character, communication, and commitment. It depends on respect. It depends on shared values. It depends on effort. It depends on maturity. It depends on emotional availability. It depends on intentional practice. Healthy love is possible for you if you learn the skills, if you apply the principles, if you commit to growth, if you nurture emotional safety, if you maintain steadiness, if you communicate honestly, if you practice forgiveness, if you honor boundaries, if you celebrate joy, if you remain patient, if you adapt when necessary, if you invest consistently, if you respect yourself, if you respect your partner, healthy love can thrive in your life. It can sustain long-term happiness. It can create meaningful partnership. It can provide security and peace. It can deepen connection beyond initial attraction. In the next chapter, we will discuss cultivating intimacy daily, because building love is the foundation, and intimacy brings life to the foundation. Stay with me. Your journey to healthy love continues. Chapter 13. Faith, Purpose, and Partnership. Love must align with purpose. Partnership must support destiny. Purpose gives direction. Without purpose, love drifts. Without purpose, relationships become reactive. They react to circumstances. They react to moods. They react to outside pressures. Faith anchors purpose. Faith provides meaning. It creates stability. It guides choices. It strengthens commitment. Partnership without shared values struggles. When two people have different priorities, conflict increases. When two people share purpose, alignment deepens. Faith and purpose act as a compass. They guide decisions in love. They ensure actions reflect values. They prevent settling for less than compatible alignment. Healthy partnerships honor individual purpose. They support personal growth. They allow each partner to pursue passions. They do not hinder destiny. Partnership amplifies potential. It does not limit vision. Shared purpose strengthens connection. It creates synergy. It inspires collaboration. It aligns goals. It creates energy to overcome challenges together. Faith provides moral and emotional guidance. It encourages patience during trials. It fosters forgiveness. It promotes gratitude. It encourages resilience. Faith and purpose help navigate heartbreak. They provide clarity when emotions cloud judgment. They help partners avoid destructive cycles. They prevent repeating mistakes unconsciously. Intentional commitment is the practice of applying purpose to partnership. It is not passive. It requires effort. It requires awareness. It requires daily attention. It requires reflection. Intentional commitment ensures alignment over time. It sustains love through changes. It ensures partners grow together. It prevents one partner outgrowing the other. It emphasizes long-term vision over short-term pleasure. Faith, purpose, and partnership also guide boundaries. They help partners say no to toxic influences. They encourage saying yes to growth opportunities. They prevent compromise of core values. They maintain integrity. They maintain emotional health. They preserve mutual respect. Faith gives hope. Purpose gives meaning. Partnership gives support. Together, they create a powerful framework for love. When love is aligned with purpose, it becomes intentional. It becomes disciplined. It becomes resilient. It survives trials. It thrives in adversity. Partnership is strengthened by shared faith and purpose. Decisions are made together. Priorities are respected mutually. Challenges are approached as a team. Growth becomes shared. Intimacy deepens. Joy multiplies. Relationships without alignment struggle. Misunderstandings become frequent. Conflict becomes destructive. Resentment builds. Trust erodes. Love without purpose drifts into complacency. Love without partnership support risks imbalance. Healthy love balances independence and unity. It fosters individual growth and mutual development. Faith provides perspective. It helps prioritize long-term fulfillment. It helps navigate setbacks. It encourages patience in building trust. Purpose ensures actions are meaningful. It prevents energy from being wasted on trivial matters. It ensures commitment is intentional. Partnership ensures efforts are coordinated. It creates harmony. It amplifies impact. It reduces friction. Alignment in faith, purpose, and partnership strengthens intimacy. It enhances emotional safety. It encourages vulnerability. It fosters honest communication. It deepens understanding. It nurtures trust. Partners feel secure in shared vision. They can plan life together confidently. They can face challenges as a united front. Healthy love guided by faith and purpose is sustainable. It survives stress. It survives temptation. It survives misunderstandings. It grows through daily practice. It evolves through communication. It strengthens through shared goals. It is intentional, disciplined, and nurturing. Faith reminds partners to be grateful. Purpose reminds partners to stay focused. Partnership ensures daily effort aligns with vision. Together, they create a relationship that inspires. They create a life of meaning. They create a legacy of love. Partners in alignment support each other's dreams. They celebrate achievements. They console failures. They motivate continuous growth. They embrace challenges together. They maintain shared integrity. They honor each other's individuality. They balance personal and collective goals. Faith, purpose, and partnership also strengthen decision-making. Choices are made thoughtfully. Impulsive reactions decrease. Arguments become constructive. Plans become collaborative. Intentionality replaces chaos. This alignment provides clarity. It reduces uncertainty. It prevents drifting apart. It encourages mutual respect. It encourages patience. It encourages compassion. It encourages accountability. It ensures growth is aligned. It ensures love is strengthened. It ensures the partnership thrives. Faith, purpose, and partnership are not optional. They are essential pillars of sustainable love. Neglecting any of these leads to confusion. It leads to conflict. It leads to emotional distance. It leads to weakened connection. Building love with alignment requires practice, daily reflection, consistent communication, mutual support, shared goals, respect for differences, gratitude for presence, intentional acts of care, intentional acts of understanding, intentional acts of patience, intentional acts of encouragement. These small, daily choices compound over time. They build a foundation of strong, lasting love. They reinforce trust. They reinforce intimacy. They reinforce emotional safety. They sustain connection. They deepen joy. They increase fulfillment. They maintain purpose. They align destiny. They amplify partnership. Faith, purpose, and partnership create a love that endures, a love that inspires, a love that motivates growth, a love that nurtures both individuals. It creates meaning beyond the relationship. It strengthens character. It encourages resilience. It fosters hope. It builds emotional intelligence. It nurtures empathy. It deepens intimacy. It celebrates joy. It balances independence with unity. It aligns vision with action. It cultivates intentionality. It sustains commitment. It enhances trust. It strengthens accountability. It ensures shared growth. It protects against destructive patterns. It encourages forgiveness. It prioritizes long-term happiness. It fosters gratitude. It amplifies love's purpose. It makes partnership a source of meaning. It transforms relationships from reactive to proactive. It transforms connections into aligned, intentional love. In the next chapter, we will discuss maintaining intimacy daily, because building alignment is the foundation, and intimacy keeps it alive. Stay with me. Your journey to thriving love continues. Chapter 14. Love is a lifetime classroom. Graduation never happens in love. Growth never stops. Love is a journey, not a destination. There is no final test. There is no perfect score. Love teaches lessons daily. It teaches patience. It teaches empathy. It teaches forgiveness. It teaches resilience. It teaches self-awareness. It teaches humility. It teaches gratitude. It teaches courage. Every relationship presents a classroom. Every conversation offers a lesson. Every disagreement provides insight. Every challenge strengthens skills. Every joy reinforces connection. Love is a continuous curriculum. You never graduate, you never pause. You advance one lesson at a time. You improve if you pay attention. You improve if you are honest. You improve if you take responsibility. You improve if you commit to learning. Mistakes are opportunities. Failures are teachers. Breakdowns are instructions. Heartbreaks are guides. Disappointments are insights. They teach you what to fix. They teach you what to avoid. They teach you what matters. They teach you patience. They teach you boundaries. They teach you self-love. They teach you emotional regulation. They teach you clarity. They teach you resilience. Love is a laboratory for growth. It tests your values. It tests your priorities. It tests your boundaries. It tests your commitment. It tests your communication. It tests your empathy. It tests your capacity for forgiveness. It tests your consistency. It tests your emotional maturity. It tests your vulnerability. Every mistake is feedback. Every misunderstanding is data. Every argument is a case study. Every resolution is a success model. Every act of kindness is reinforcement. Every moment of understanding is a lesson learned. Every apology is evidence of growth. Every heartfelt conversation deepens skill. Every act of love strengthens practice. Love demands humility. It demands that you admit faults. It demands that you recognize limitations. It demands that you prioritize learning over ego. It demands that you seek growth over comfort. It demands patience with self and partner. It demands ongoing self-reflection. It demands intentional effort. Love requires consistency. It is not about fleeting emotions. It is about disciplined practice. It is about showing up every day. It is about listening, truly listening. It is about observing patterns. It is about adjusting behavior. It is about taking responsibility. It is about repairing harm. It is about nurturing connection. Love requires grace. It allows mistakes. It forgives missteps. It encourages growth. It supports recovery. It inspires renewal. It cultivates patience. It builds trust. It maintains hope. It sustains commitment. It creates resilience. It encourages courage. It rewards humility. It teaches emotional intelligence. It strengthens character. It expands perspective. It enhances awareness. It develops empathy. It reinforces understanding. It deepens intimacy. It amplifies trust. It solidifies connection. It nurtures security. It motivates shared growth. It fuels mutual respect. It honors individuality. It celebrates uniqueness. It strengthens compatibility. It clarifies purpose. It aligns intentions. It reinforces priorities. It guides decision-making. It enhances conflict resolution. It fosters compromise. It prevents resentment. It nurtures gratitude. It develops patience. It cultivates optimism. It promotes collaboration. It encourages partnership. It motivates perseverance. It amplifies joy. It deepens satisfaction. It enhances fulfillment. It strengthens the foundation. Love is not static. It is dynamic. It changes as people grow. It evolves with circumstances. It adapts to challenges. It responds to maturity. It reflects learning. It mirrors growth. It tests boundaries. It honors commitment. It balances independence with unity. It requires ongoing effort. It needs continuous attention. It thrives with intention. It flourishes with practice. It is sustained by curiosity. It is strengthened by patience. It is guided by purpose. It is disciplined by consistency. It is enriched by reflection. It is improved by self-awareness. It is reinforced by accountability. It is nurtured by communication. It is deepened by empathy. It is expanded by vulnerability. It is polished by humility. It is illuminated by gratitude. It is stabilized by trust. It is amplified by shared values. It is sustained by mutual respect. It is perfected through continuous practice. The lifetime classroom of love is endless. There are lessons in joy. There are lessons in sorrow. There are lessons in connection. There are lessons in separation. There are lessons in intimacy. There are lessons in distance. There are lessons in conflict. There are lessons in compromise. There are lessons in forgiveness. There are lessons in acceptance. There are lessons in generosity. There are lessons in honesty. There are lessons in boundaries. There are lessons in patience. There are lessons in trust. There are lessons in hope. There are lessons in growth. There are lessons in reflection. There are lessons in partnership. There are lessons in purpose. There are lessons in faith. There are lessons in joy. There are lessons in resilience. There are lessons in humility. There are lessons in gratitude. There are lessons in courage. There are lessons in character. There are lessons in integrity. There are lessons in love itself. Every day brings a new lesson. Every relationship brings a new lesson. Every interaction is an opportunity. Every moment is a chance to practice. Every challenge is a teacher. Every triumph is a reinforcement. Every mistake is a classroom. Every success is a lesson learned. Every heartache is a study. Every celebration is feedback. Every routine is training. Every habit is practice. Every conversation is material. Every connection is curriculum. Every act of love is reinforcement. Every choice teaches consequences. Every decision teaches discipline. Every effort teaches persistence. Every reflection teaches insight. Every apology teaches humility. Every forgiveness teaches grace. Every struggle teaches strength. Every joy teaches gratitude. Every relationship is a laboratory. Every partnership is a field of study. Every connection is a case study. Love is the ultimate teacher. Life is the ultimate curriculum. Growth is the ultimate goal. Learning is the only graduation. Humility is the key to success. Patience is the tool of mastery. Grace is the seal of progress. Continuous improvement is the mark of true love. Mastery is not the outcome, it is the journey. The lifetime classroom requires persistence. It requires engagement. It requires mindfulness. It requires curiosity. It requires reflection. It requires honesty. It requires courage. It requires love itself. As we close this book, remember this. Love is never complete. Love is never finished. Love is always learning. Love is always growing. Love is always evolving. Love is always refining. Love is always testing. Love is always teaching. You are always the student. You are always the teacher. You are always learning. You are always growing. You are always improving. You are always loving. And with every lesson, you become better at giving love. You become better at receiving love. You become better at being loved. This is the essence of the lifetime classroom of love, where every day, every moment, every challenge, every joy, every heartbreak, every triumph, every connection, and every act of care is a lesson waiting to be learned. And you are the student who keeps showing up, because love never ends. Stay curious. Stay humble. Stay committed. Stay intentional. And your relationships will flourish. Your journey continues, and the lessons never stop. The path of love is endless, and it is always worth learning. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Student of Love, your guide to discover, uncover, and recover healthy relationships. We explored 14 powerful chapters that teach you how to heal, grow, and master the art of loving intentionally. Remember, love is a skill, a lifelong classroom, and a practice that requires patience, humility, and self-awareness. Every lesson you learn today brings you closer to healthier, deeper, and more meaningful relationships tomorrow. If you found this summary valuable, Make sure to subscribe to Bookverse, where we bring you full audiobook summaries of the latest self-help and personal growth books in simple, engaging English. Hit the like button, share with friends who are seeking growth, and stay tuned for our next book summary. Keep learning, keep growing, keep loving.